Hello everyone and welcome back to Who the hell are you?
Really? Really? Stop the act. You know you know exactly who I am, bitch.
How did you find me?
It was simple. I just tracked your IP address, idiot.
You don't deserve this. You don't deserve to sit in this chair. Everyone loves the wig.
Shut up. They want me, damn it, okay? They don't care about you.
Everyone loves the wig. No one likes you.
It's all about the blonde pig now.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me? I am you. I'm everything that you'll ever be. If I'm gone, you're gone.
I'm not gonna kill you. I just came here to tell you that you should probably be protecting your IP with a VPN.
Son of a bitch. Did you just use me for an ad placement?
Damn right I did.
No!
Private Internet Access, founded in 2010, is the leading no-log VPN with over 1 million customers.
It's got unlimited access to 3,000 servers in 48 countries.
They have dedicated apps for all platforms: Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android, all the above. And I know a lot of people are just, yeah, it's just another VPN. You know, VPNs are lame. They're just for your protection, blah, blah, blah. You know, if you're a loser and you don't really care about protection, there's some cool features to have with a VPN. Say you want to watch a show in a different country and it's blocked in your country. Boom, bam, you got a VPN. Now you're in Canada. And the same goes for anything else. Games, shows, YouTube videos even. If they're blocked in a specific country, you can just move your location to a different country and watch it there. But seriously guys, VPNs are extremely important. It's honestly just irresponsible not to have one. So why not just use private internet access? Honestly, it's one of the easiest to use VPNs I've ever used.
So if you guys want a 76% discount plus 2 extra months free, go to the link in the description and click it and get it. Okay, awesome, fantastic. Now can we get back to what we were talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about one of the greatest films of all time, Austin Powers in the Hat. Now, I'm just gonna say it right now before we get into anything. I loved the shit out of this movie when I was younger. Like, I defended it to hell and back because of how stupid it is. Something about the self-aware, dumb comedy I just loved when I was like probably 10 to 12 years old. And if you're a subscriber of mine, you know that we go through movies that I used to love, and almost every single time turns out that the movie was actually garbage and I was just a stupid kid. But today is going to be different because Cat in the Hat will stand the test of time and it will be a good movie. Right? So Cat in the Hat is a weird ass movie. It was weird then, and looking back at it, it's a lot weirder now. And let's just say I'm not the only person who thought this movie wasn't really, you know, normal. But I'm just going to tell you right now, the reason this movie got so much shit, that so many people got angry at it, is not because of the quality of the film or the story. It is because it is Cat in the Hat. If it was not Cat in the Hat, if it was a completely different film, then it would be fine. But since it's based on a beloved children's novel, you'll understand why a lot of people thought it was awful. Because let's be real, this isn't a Dr. Seuss movie. This is Austin Powers playing Cat in the Hat. I mean, we all know Mike Myers. He kind of just has like one character type. You know, Wayne's World, Austin Powers. Get out. Get out! But when you take that lowbrow, raunchy, self-aware humor that Mike Myers tends to have and add it to a beloved children's story, you kind of get a little bit of confusion going on. Not only that, but Cat in the Hat, if you don't know, is a short-ass book. So taking a extremely short children's book and trying to make it into a feature-length film, it just doesn't work. I'm trying to make a point here, okay? And another problem with it is that it didn't really add anything to the story. It didn't take the story and expand upon it. It kind of just did the story, and then the rest was just a Michael Myers skit show. And I think the main reason I enjoyed this movie when I was younger is because I liked all of the Austin Powers movies when I was younger. I loved Wayne's World. Something about that self-aware, really bad humor that 12-year-old me just couldn't get enough of. So without further ado, let's go through this movie, and then hopefully I won't make myself look like an idiot and make every single point I just made invalid. So the movie starts out with the basic rhyming narration Dr. Seuss thing. You know, the Grinch beach, but without snow. And there's an obvious Dr. Seuss art style, which I kind of like what they did because they didn't just go full Seuss. To kind of mesh the real world with, you know, the weird Seuss cat in the hat world. And also, for some reason, everyone in this universe just drives a 2002 Ford Focus. Well, at least we know where they got their budget. So we get introduced to the mom who works at a real estate agency with a boss who fires people over handshakes because he's a germaphobe.
What do you mean you're leaving? You're a babysitter. Babysitters don't leave, they sit. Baby leavers leave.
Ooh, all right. I did say this movie was actually funny. I mean, on the cover art, it literally says enormously funny. And if it's on the cover art, it has to be true. So we're just gonna move past bad joke number 1 and just hope that that was the only one. So then we find out that Joan is holding a house party for a real estate company, and it's very important.
If your house is as messy as last time,
and now we get to meet the children, which is whiny little know-it-all bitch and a kid who just likes throwing stuff on the floor. So one thing I don't like about this movie off the bat is every character's one-dimensional. And I talked about this in a previous video. Basically, that means that every character has a trope or a little quirk they have about them, and they just drive that home. Joan's boss, extreme germaphobe. Conrad, he likes to break shit every time he's on screen. He wants to break something. And Sally, every time she's on screen, she has to control something. But hey, I mean, it's a Mike Myers film. You know, they don't really care about character depth. So anyway, dumb kid tapes a bunch of food on him so he can slide down the stairs, and then their dog randomly takes off. Foreshadowing. And now we get to meet my favorite character in this whole movie, Quinn, who is a narcissistic, gross piece of shit, and god damn it, I love him. He's the main antagonist in the movie, and his only goal is to ship the kids off to military school so he could pork their mom. And you know, it's the same trope where the mom's completely oblivious to how much of a dick he is to the kids, and she just thinks he's a nice, lovable guy.
I'm not sure it's right for Conrad.
Oh, Joan.
Oh. Shit. Joan.
I know how hard it is, Joan.
It is hard.
Oh, I know.
Oh, come on. You know what you're trying to do there. Yeah, you know what you were trying to do there, movie.
I don't like you either.
But I'm gonna bang your mom. So Joan goes back to work and ends up calling in a nanny who is Mrs. Kwan, or as I like to call her, old Asian lady punching bag, because she is literally used as a comedic object. Seriously, she's not a character. She's an object in this movie.
And absolutely no one sets foot in the living room or else.
You guys think they're gonna step into the living room? Oh. Oh, and just a little something I'd like to mention. Why is it that Quinn is the only guy in town who doesn't own a 2002 Ford Focus? So the babysitter falls asleep watching Chinese parliament fights.
Taiwanese parliament.
See, this is what I'm talking about when this isn't a movie for kids, but they put it as a movie for kids. The amount of adult jokes that I would not understand as a child, there's so many of them in here. But now we get the classic shot of Conrad and Sally looking out the window on a gloomy day while the classic lines from the book are read. Did something go bat? I think that's how it goes. How that bat made me clap. And now we finally get to meet Austin Powers in a cat suit. I mean, like, it's better than Cats, the movie. So he chases the kids around the house, making some okay jokes.
How did you get here?
I drove!
And then the really, really bad jokes.
I'm a super fundiferous feline who's here to make sure that you're... me-line, key-line, turpentine... Humana, 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 humana. Who is this?
That's my mom.
Awkward.
I'm sorry, what? Okay, now I'm starting to see a little bit why people weren't happy that they were portraying an innocent child's book character to be a 40-year-old looking pervert who gets a boner by looking at the picture of their kid's mom. Not too good. So after the cat puts the old Asian lady in the closet, he tests out the kid's fun levels with the phonometer.
Yeah, it measures how fun you are.
Sally's a control freak, Conrad's a rule breaker. Sally gets thrown out of a window. So now he's singing a song.
It is wet and the sun is not sunny.
Why? Oh, hey, there's a talking fish. That's all I'm gonna show the fish because there was no point in having the fish. I guess it was supposed to be the voice of reason, but no one liked the fish. It's all starting to come together now. It's really all making sense now. I get why no one really liked this movie. Why, how was even? I'm pretty certain this movie's the reason I have ADD.
I knew that milk would come back to haunt me.
Damn it! Okay, this movie's good. Okay, it's good. I promise. Okay, it's not the nostalgia. It is not the nostalgia talking. Damn it! This movie had some good parts. Right? So the Mike and the Myers forces a couple of 10-year-old kids to sign a contract basically stating that they have as much fun as possible without anything to worry about. And I'll be honest, I still think this part's pretty good. Making a very self-aware joke of how children's movies normally deal with, you know, magic and bubbly stuff, and then they just cut in with reality and slam down a contract.
Magical time-traveling elves. Yeah, magic. Okay, they're my lawyers.
I mean, just like I said before, I just have a soft spot for self-aware comedy. I mean, that's the only comedy I'm good at, am I right? So they sign the contract and things get even more chaotic. Oh look, he's working on the couch like it's a car. Ha, butt crack.
Sorry.
Oh, there's an elephant coming out of the couch. Random. Oh, now the couch is a trampoline.
Like being in the circus.
Yeah, but without those tortured animals or drunken clowns that have hepatitis.
I've never been to a circus. I was not aware of the clowns. So once again, there's a very adult-themed joke in a film based on a children's book. I mean, that joke seriously sounds like a joke that was ripped from Family Guy. Yeah, but without the tortured animals and clowns that have hepatitis. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter. Then Quinn comes in and straight up yoinks a bunch of shit from their fridge. Now it's time for more skits. Yay, I'm so excited. Sally wants to make cupcakes, so he makes an entire cooking show skit about
The amazing cupcakeinator. I'm so excited. And you're ugly, just like your mum. Did you just call my mother ugly? Shut up. I mean it. I will end you. Cause son of a bitch.
Just imagine reading to your 3-year-old child every night the wonderful story of Cat in the Hat, and then the day comes that the book was made into a live-action movie. Your daughter, so happy and excited to see the book that was read every night on the big screen, only to be greeted by boner jokes, murder jokes, and Cat in the Hat himself cussing. This was potentially traumatizing for children. So they end up making a giant mess with the Cupcakeinator. So the cat introduces Thing 1 and Thing 2. Yes, they have those characters in this movie. And boy, are they just abominations.
Yes.
But while he's introducing them, Conrad opens the cat's magic crate. But apparently it's bad if you open the
Trans-dimensional transporter later.
So Thing 1 and Thing 2 go crazy around the house, so then Conrad just pulls out 2 human-sized nets. There are a lot of questions that involve that, you know, like, where did they get them? What do they use them for? Why do I not have any? Conrad all of a sudden knows how to pick lock, and then the lock ends up on the dog's collar.
The things always do the opposite of what you say.
Why do they always do the opposite? That's so annoying. Remind you of anyone, Conrad?
Zinga!
Oh God, could have swore he said bazinga.
41, hunt!
You put down that dog right now.
No, Peter, not this shit again, okay? It's a movie. I can't control what they're gonna do in the movie.
Put down that dog!
They are telling him to put it down. I can't do anything about it.
Don't let go of that dog!
Tell him to put it down now!
Catch it!
Hey everyone. So the dog ends up running off with the lock. And now that the lock's gone, I guess the box is just leaking a dimension.
It won't stay shut!
Not sure how that works, but I'll take it.
Now, we just need a heavy, inanimate object to weigh down this crate. There!
Heavy inanimate object when they were talking to a large Asian woman. There's so many things wrong with that statement, but it probably is just a coincidence, right? So now we move over to Quinn, who is actually fat. And he doesn't have teeth, and he is getting his TV repossessed, which is playing softcore porn.
You're repossessing my TV.
Man, every time there's a scene with Quinn in it, I just like him that much more. So Quinn ends up calling Joan and telling her that the dog's gone, so he tries to go and get the dog.
All right, Nevins. Time to die. Dirty hoe. I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
You know, I remember when I was younger, I used to think this joke was extremely funny. Hell, I used to think it was enormously funny. And you know what? After all these years, after all this time, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. Sally has a little sad moment while chasing down the dog where she sees all of her friends at a birthday party, but she wasn't invited because she's a little bitch. And then she's like, oh man, maybe I am a bitch. Character development. Whoa, the kids ran outside and the cat's out there. So they all run and hide, except the cat, who decides to take the place of a piñata. Okay, this just does not add up. Instead of running to the bush and hiding, he took the place of the piñata. But the piñata he put behind the children, behind the bush. So that means he would have had to take the piñata, run over to the kids, set it down, run back, tie himself to a tree. He had plenty of time to hide. Plot hole. I win. Video's over. I did it. Plot hole. Me 1, movie 0. So all the kids end up hitting him with bats since they think it's a piñata. But then he gets hit in the jingly puffs and screams. We did it, boys. We did it. We found the meme. Yes, we did it.
Wow, that is so cool.
That's just the dust cover.
So you're telling me that in a town of people who only drive a Ford Focus 2002, no one's gonna talk about the weird-ass vehicle driving around? Maybe this is supposed to symbolize something. Maybe it's supposed to say, go against the grain. Just because everyone drives a 2002 Ford Focus, you don't have to. You are your own person. You don't have to follow the majority. Don't let the majority sway your opinion. Be your own person. Have your own thoughts. Nah, it's just bad writing.
Yeah, slow. It's better than the last name we had. Super hydraulic instantaneous transporter.
Oh, you mean...
Oh, brother! He almost had to poop. But Quinn ends up grabbing the dog, and then the dog pisses on his taco. Dude, I'm telling you, the only good parts about this movie are when Quinn is here.
Oh!
So the cat gives all the kids steering wheels. He turns into the love guru for a couple seconds, and then they all crash.
Airbag. Standard.
Airbag's a little slow.
You know, after watching this far into the movie, I've come to the conclusion they just wanted to be the next Grinch. Like, so much about this just screams that they really wanted to be the next Grinch. And I'll be honest, I feel like it kind of holds its ground a little bit. I mean, obviously it's not as beloved as the Grinch because the Grinch is honestly just a good movie in general. It's funny, it's clever, it's a good story all around. But this, I feel like, just has a small group of people that are extremely dedicated to it and they consider it a classic, but not on as big of a scale as The Grinch.
I'd like you to sign my petition. Yeah.
Get out of my way, you hippie freak.
God damn it, I love Quinn, dude. Quinn is so funny. He's so good. Alec Baldwin did a great job with this character. So they end up getting the dog from Quinn by doing a hippie thing and holding a double-handed pen, which honestly, in hindsight, is a decent joke. And now they just go into a secret adult club. And honestly, as a kid, I genuinely thought that like little thing that opened was actually the entrance to a club. I didn't really think about how the cat, you know, did his magic and then he made this thing from opening that. I just genuinely thought it was a secret club. Because looking at it now, everyone's wearing a Cat in the Hat hat. Back then, I didn't think about it. Just thought it was just a random party underneath the road. Oh, do my eyes doth deceive me? They really went that route? That's as lowbrow as it gets. Like shit, you should have just brought in Britney Spears to shoot guns out of her tits. That's what? This is supposed to be a film for children who love Cat in the Hat. And then Mike in the Hat all of a sudden just falls down and grabs a random hat, which is important later. God damn it, Quinn, you sexy son of a bitch.
Hey,
What's wrong?
this is not my hat. I must have picked up the wrong hat back there.
Uh-oh, it seems like the cat picked up the wrong hat. It used to be Cat in the Hat. Now it's Cat in the wrong hat. I'm funny. So Quinn ends up snatching Joan from work to try and get the kids in trouble, but then Thing 1 and Thing 2 distract Joan by choking on a piece of paper. And then Quinn just straight up yoinks a police motorcycle. Like, regardless if this is Cat in the Hat and that's Thing 1, Thing 2, in reality, they don't know that. Those just could be two cops, and Quinn straight up yoinks a police motorcycle. I love him, dude. He's so good. So Quinn ends up beating them home, and then the Cat in the Hat reveals himself to Quinn, so he freaks out and falls to his death. Yeah. And then we get put into Shark Boy and Lava Girl levels of CGI graphics, and they use Mrs. Kwan as a water ride. So they basically go on a roller coaster ride, and then they put in a very self-aware ad placement.
You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching.
Finally find the box to close it, but it's like a giant tornado now. And Sally ends up getting sucked up into it. But with a little bit of character development, Conrad tells Sally to trust him that he will close it. And then he closes it, and that's pretty much that. And then the house goes back to normal. And then the house literally shits out Quinn. Seriously. So then the kids find out the Cat in the Hat actually planned the entire day in order for the kids to learn from their mistakes and learn how awful they actually are. They both get really mad at the cat and tell him to leave the house, and then they both sit down and they're like, we'll do this together. When Mom gets home, let's do this together. We're brother and sister. We're not bad anymore. Character development, we're better now. Oh no, they're gonna get punished from their mom. What? So then the Cat in the Hat explains to the children that even though Conrad broke the contract and opened up the box, is that if Sally and Conrad both become, you know, better kids and like each other, then the contract is reinstated, and then he ends up cleaning the entire house with, you guessed it, a Smash Mouth montage. I know, right? You thought Zoom had a bunch of Smash Mouth montages. Well, boy, we got another one in Cat in the Hat. I want to die. So then the cat checks the kids again for their funometer, their phenometer, or whatever it's called, and they're both good. They have a little sappy moment, and then he leaves, and then everybody's happy, the mom's happy, the good day. I do.
Anything? So what did you kids do today, huh?
Well, what would you do if your mother asked you?
Well, if that were me, I'd probably tell my mom that a 40-year-old man is running around in a cat suit, breaking into people's houses and destroying those houses. So they might want to keep an eye out for that 40-year-old perverted man in a cat suit. So in the end, ladies and gentlemen, is this movie as good as we remember? Well, obviously no. This movie's definitely not a good film, but I don't know if it's just my nostalgia talking, but I still think this movie is just a fun, stupid movie to watch. Obviously, don't expect a really good film with good storylines or anything like that. It's raunchy, lowbrow, stupid humor. As a kid, I thought it was hilarious, and some of the jokes in here even keep up today, surprisingly. I don't know, maybe I'm just an immature child on the inside still. But thank you all for watching this movie. I do really appreciate every single one of you who watched. So if you enjoyed this type of video, please subscribe if you're new here, like the video, all that different stuff, and leave in the comments below another movie that you might want me to review. But I love you all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I stole a kiss.